POC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from a company called Hubitat. And we've actually covered this sort of in the past, some highlights about it. But what this is another smart home hub. And this is riding on the heels of different brands like SmartThings and Vera and whatnot. And what they seek to do is answer the question of what device am I able to put on my network? Because is it compatible? Does it work with my hub? Does it work with all the other devices? And so forth. Because they want to make sure that most of those devices work with your network, which is kind of cool. So this is kind of like more of a popular trend that's really starting to take off. You're able to adapt multiple options into one network. So you have Z-Wave support, Zigbee support, and other familiar networks like that, including other brands that are usually proprietary, like the Iris lineup that was recently, I believe, I think it was discontinued in a way where it was no longer supported by Lowe's, or their you can buy them in Lowe's. It wasn't supported by their app or something like that, but Hubitat took it over. And they said, hey, we can support Iris. Why not? We support everything else. So now all those devices, for those people who had invested into all those Iris devices, can now use the Hubitat to be able to bring them all together without having to worry about, like, now what am I going to do? And not only that, they can work with everybody else's devices as well. So again, Z-Wave, that's a big one right there, because that opens you up to hundreds, if not thousands, of options in that alone. And on top of that, it has support for things like third-party integration, like Amazon Echo speakers, Google Assistant speakers, and of course, IFTTT.com, which is a huge deal, because that opens you up to not just the devices in your network, but also recipes online to interact with other web-based applications like Gmail, WordPress, and so forth. But for today, this is a unboxing, so we're gonna pop this open, we're gonna see what's in the box, see what it looks like. And then you'll go to the website later on at POCnetwork.net, where we're gonna have the full review about this later on once we've really given it the test, because we wanna know what it can do. So let's get to it. It's a really small and simple box, so you can't really expect much to be in here, and I can only assume it's probably smaller than I was assuming, and I was right. This hub is actually incredibly small. It is a very tiny solution compared to some of the other things we've used, and that's pretty impressive, assuming that it can hold its weight to some of those other brands that they're competing against. You have a little insert here that has a Hubitat Elevation User Manual. And it just talks you through setup and registering for an account, discovering Zigbee and Z-Wave devices, get automated documentation, support community. So your basic kind of just a brief summary of all the different things and warranty information and so forth. You have an Ethernet cable here, which is simple, and it's a flat cable, metal shielded, looks here, for durability. And then you have a power adapter, which goes from USB to, looks like, micro USB to the back of the unit to bring power to the unit. Small box, small solution, doesn't come with a lot of accessories. You have power cable, Ethernet, and the hub. That's it, a little documentation. Everything else is available online, and of course, when you set this up, it's, and you get the app going, you're gonna get a lot more documentation as well. But the device, it's really stupid simple. On the top of the device, you simply have the Hubitat logo. On the side, there's nothing but air release. Well, at least on the sides here, a little bit of air release. On the front, you have a small LED. On the back, you have an Ethernet connection, which is for this. That's to get it initially set up, and then you can probably get it going on Wi-Fi too, I'm gonna only assume. And you have your micro USB for giving it power. The bottom, you have additional air release. The feet aren't really that tall, so it's not gonna give you much space between the bottom of it and the surface that it's resting on. So I don't know how much benefit you're going to get from the air release at the bottom as compared to the sides here, but you can always prop it up if you feel like this is going to get too hot. So small, it's probably not. But that's it, Hubitat Elevation Hub. So again, it can support a lot of things, a lot of devices, a lot of various different brands, a lot of familiar names out there, and they even provide an entire list on their website for you to check out of all the various different devices it can support. And with IFTTT integration, you can do so many things with this in terms of integrating it with your website, with email services, and other third-party platforms like Philips Hue and things like that, in case the internal rules or capabilities don't give you the extensive connectivity to those platforms as it would going through IFTTT. They brag about a lot of features, and some of which including the ability to be able to still connect to the hub when you're home, at least, even when you lose internet. So chances are it probably brings all the devices together on its own little Wi-Fi network. So this will show up in your router by it as itself, and all your devices will be probably separate. So if you lose internet, if you lose Wi-Fi or anything like that, as long as this thing's still plugged in and working, you should be able to connect to it as long as you're at home directly. And that's it. So again, Hubitat Elevation Smart Hub. It's an all-in-one super hub, and it's tiny. So check it out at POCnetwork.net later on once we have a full story about this, so we can figure out if this thing really works or not. And we're hoping it will, because it can do a lot if so. So again, POCnetwork.net. If you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe. There's that subscription button down there, as well as a comment section, so you can communicate with us and each other and so forth. And don't forget to check out the website as well, and go check us out on Twitter and Facebook. We have a contest running right now, which I think is only like a day or two left, to win a Kindle Fire HD 8 device. Tablet. Could be yours for free with the case as well. So go check it out. You'll find us on Twitter, find the post for it, go enter the contest. Good luck. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.